So this isn't a political race where promises are made and promises are kept. Races for judges, we can't promise to do anything for you other than provide an efficient bench that is respectful to the people. I'm Garth Brown. As you've heard, I'm running for municipal court judge in Hancock County. And if I was sitting there, I'd ask myself three questions. One, who is this guy? Two, what's his qualifications? And three, what does he know about running a business, and what does he know about landlord-tenant law? Well, first, let me answer those questions for you. My wife Carmen and I have been married 29 years. We have two adult daughters. My girls are Michaela, who is currently a public historian in Austin, Texas, and Aubrey, who is a first lieutenant in the Marine Corps, currently deployed, although we think she'll be back in the United States pretty soon, so we're hopeful about that. Very proud of both of my daughters. My roots are here, my extended family is here. My wife Carmen and I decided to raise our children here. We've flourished in a community that has so much to offer, and we've certainly invested our time and our talents and our treasures here, and it has blessed us a millionfold. This is a great community. I started practicing in 1993 with the late George Kentris. I moved across the street in 1998 and began practicing with other notable attorneys, Bob Drake, Dave Kinsley, Bill Clark, Tom Drake, and John Oman. Over the last 28 years, I've come to represent countless individuals in all kinds of cases: family issues, life planning, business, landlord-tenant, civil, real estate, collection, personal injury, an occasional pesky traffic ticket that sometimes comes before the court. I've represented clients other people have refused to represent, and people ask me why. Why do you represent people like that? And I guess it's because my moral compass tells me that everybody's entitled to a fair hearing. Everybody's entitled to equal treatment under the law, even those people who we would say maybe don't deserve it, but the law is written to protect individuals. So question number two, what are my qualifications? I've always had a drive for service. In college, I interned with Mike Oxley in Washington, D.C. I returned home after law school. I represented the then third ward in city council for a couple of terms. Now that my children are grown, I have more time to be involved in activities. I still volunteer in the things that my children were involved in. I continue to volunteer with the We the People Constitutional Debate Team at Findlay High School. I've been involved with that group, I don't know, 8 or 10 years probably. I volunteer with Findlay First Edition. I know I've been involved with that group for about 12 years. I'm the kind of behind the scenes guy. If you've ever seen them perform, basically when that stage gets set, I'm the guy that's setting it. Me and the crew, I can't take credit for that. I basically just help them do what needs to be done. I serve on the foundation at my church, St. Andrew's United Methodist Church. I serve on the University of Findlay Curtain Raisers Board, and today I'm ready to take the municipal court bench. I come to the bench with perhaps the most diverse and vast experience on a broad-based scale of any attorney in Hancock County. According to Martindale-Hubbell, which is a ranking system among attorneys, I'm highly rated by my peers in both legal ability and ethical standards. And I bring in a temperament that I think is appropriate for the court, my professional understanding, my high moral compass, and a solid work ethic to this new venture of service. What you should be looking for in a judge is an even temperament, a vast experience that really includes both sides of cases in all different circumstances. I've averaged nearly 225 days a year in the courtroom. I spend a lot of time in the courtroom. You should expect a judge who understands the importance of well-reasoned decisions who are made timely. Obviously, justice delayed is justice denied. You should hope for a judge that sees hundreds of cases in well-run courtrooms. I've practiced in nearly every court in Northwest Ohio. I've seen judges that do a great job. I've seen judges that I think fall a little short of that, and that experience that I bring to the bench, I think would be more than most other candidates could provide. You should look for a candidate that you feel certain will, when nobody's looking, do the right thing. I mean, that's really the question is, who's going to do the right thing? And quite frankly, I think that person is me. Today, you're getting a snapshot of who I am. I encourage you to look at my website, electgarthbrown.com, so that you might see and learn more about me. And I welcome questions about who I am and my experience and what I bring to the bench. I think if you ask around, you will learn that I am just what I say I am. I've been a registered Republican for 35 years, and I do stand behind those ideals. My opponent has quite an endorsement list. She's worked for the prosecutor's office for 10 years in Findlay, comes from the same office that the other judge is from, so we have currently have 2 judges from the same office controlling the municipal court. I think it's time for a change, personally. And I guess the third question that you want to ask yourself is, what do I know about running a business, and what do I know about landlord-tenant law? I've formed hundreds of limited liability companies in my 28 career, and I've advised clients on the formation of their businesses and helped them operate their businesses over that time. I have filed dozens of evictions every year over my 28-year career. I've represented more than 3,000 housing units at any one given time in my career. I certainly understand landlord-tenant law perhaps better than most. You folks have a sample lease that at one point was written by me. That lease, I think, has probably been amended because it's been quite a few years since I did that work. But that lease is a lease that started with my work. A judicial candidate is ethically prohibited from talking about how they would decide on a particular case that comes before the bench, but what I would say is that landlord-tenant law in Ohio is very clear. If you follow the law, you have a clear path. I would say that in 2 recent cases I appeared in the municipal court, and the very first question that was asked of the tenant was, do you want a continuance of today's eviction hearing? And that causes me great concern, because while I think everybody is entitled to representation, they have time to seek that representation and should do so before they come to court. So, I'm Garth Brown. I'm running for municipal court in Hancock County, and I would ask for your vote. I believe I'm the most qualified candidate, and I think that you can expect for me to do a job of professionalism and integrity, and I would ask you to ask around, find out who I really am.